Welcome to Mini Music Class, brought to you by Education Through Music Los Angeles. Today's lesson is designed for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students, and we will cover time signature. In this lesson, we will define time signature with its top and bottom number. We will also take a closer look at 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4 time. Plus, we're going to remember how to count and say our rhythms. All you will need for this lesson is paper or a notebook and a pencil to take notes. Feel free to pause the video if you don't have your materials ready. However, if you're good to go, let's get started. First, what is a time signature? The time signatures are the numbers that are set at the beginning of a written piece of music. The top number tells us the total number of beats allowed in a measure. The bottom number tells us what kind of note will be worth 1 beat. Pause now if you would like to take time to write the information you see. Let's take a closer look at the time signature with 2/4 time. The bottom number is 4, and it's kind of making a fraction, like 1/4 or 1/4. Another way to say 1/4 is to say 1/4. Hey, we have quarter notes in music. Get it? 1/4, quarter note. Those are the type of notes that we're going to use to count our beats in each measure. That means 1 quarter note will equal 1 beat. So let's add a quarter note in the first measure of our staff. Cool. But is that enough? Pause here if you would like to take time to write the information you see. Our top number is 2. That means we're allowed a total number of 2 beats for each measure. Right now, we have 1 quarter note in the first measure, but we need 2. So let's add another. Now we have a total number of 2 quarter notes, or 2 beats in our measure. Take a look at the second measure. We have 1 quarter rest in the measure. Even though our rest is silent, they still use the same counts as the notes. That means our quarter rest has 1 count. What can we add to the measure to make 2 counts or 2 beats? Should we add a quarter note or a quarter rest? If you chose a quarter note, you're right. Quarter note is worth 1 count. But if you chose a quarter rest, you're right too. Each of those uses 1 count or just 1 beat. You can mix and match any of them, just as long as you add up to the top number, which is 2. Pause now if you want to write the information that you see. Now, let's look at 3/4 time signature. 4 is still at the bottom, so which note would be worth 1 beat? A quarter note, a half note, or an eighth note? A quarter note. Look at the first measure. What? Why are there eighth notes there? We can't count those. Or can we? We know eighth notes are shorter than quarter notes. Listen to some taps. Here are quarter notes. And here are eighth notes. For each quarter note, we hear 2 eighth notes. That's why they sound faster. Let's write that out. You need 2 eighth notes to make 1 quarter note, which means you need 2 eighth notes to make 1 beat. Pause now if you would like to take time to write the information you see. Some people might ask, why can't we use 1/8 note for 1 beat? Well, remember the quarter note is 1 beat, and if you have 1/8 note, you only have half of what you need to make that quarter note. Everybody knows 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1 whole. So in music terms, 1/8 note, which is half a beat, plus another eighth note, which is half a beat, equals 1 quarter note or 1 whole beat. Pause now if you would like to write the information that you see. Here is our music. The top number of our time signature is 3. How many counts should we have for each measure? 3. 3 counts for our 3 beats. Let's check if we have the right number of beats for the measure. We have a quarter note, 2 eighth notes, and a quarter note. A quarter note is 1 beat. The eighth notes are half a beat each. And then we have 1 more beat. So 1 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1 equals 3. That matches our top number. Our measure is complete. Let's say the rhythm. I'll go first. Ta, ti, ti, ta. Your turn. 1, 2, 3, ready, and go. Good job. Pause here to take notes. Let's move on to 4/4 time signature. Which number tells us how many beats are in each measure? Is it the top number or the bottom number? It's the top one. So 4 beats are needed for each measure in 4/4 time. We are still using the quarter note as the count for 1 beat. Let's look at the music. Now we have a half note. Is that longer or shorter than a quarter note? It's longer. In fact, it's twice as long as a quarter note. So we need 2 quarter notes to equal 1 half note. Can you tell me how many counts the half note is worth? 2. 1 half note is worth 2 counts or 2 beats. Pause here if you would like to take notes. Count the beats in each measure. Measure 1. We have a half note and 2 quarter notes. Well, we already know that half note has 2 beats and the quarter notes have 1 beat each. So 2 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 4. Now let's look at the second measure. We have a quarter note, a quarter rest, and 2 eighth notes. We already know that our quarter note and our quarter rest are both worth 1 beat, but then our eighth notes are worth a half a beat for each one. So now we have 1 plus 1 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. That will give us 3? Is that right? No, we need 1 more beat to give us our full 4 counts. What should we add to give us our last count? A half note or a quarter note? a quarter note. Half note would be too much. We only need one more beat. Now our rhythm is complete. Let's say the whole rhythm together, starting at measure 1 and going all the way through to the end of measure 2. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, 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 ti, ti, ta. Great job, you guys. Fix the time signatures. Add all the beats in the measure to find the top number of the time signature. Let's get started. Number 1. The number is 3. That's because 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. Number 2. Answer is 2. That's because our half note is already worth 2 beats. Number 3. Answer is 3. That's because 2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 gives us 3. Last one, number 4. Answer is 4. That's because 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 4. How'd you do? Well, I know you guys did a great job today. Thank you for joining me in Mini Music Class, brought to you by Education Through Music Los Angeles. Check back next week to find new videos. For now, stay safe, keep learning, and keep enjoying music. See you next time.